I got the moves. I got the moves. I'm making moves. You gotta move. You gotta make the city move. Like, whoa. I make the city move. I got the move.
As the NBA season draws closer and closer, NBA fans start to make predictions about what may happen. One common preseason prediction is to guess what the NBA standings may look like once the season is all said and done. I love doing preseason predictions. I've been doing it since 2016, and today I'll be doing the conference standings for the Western Conference, starting at 15 and finishing with my number 1 seed prediction. The East should be out in a few days from now. If you're new here and enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content. But with that being said, let's get right into these conference standings predictions. Number 15, the Phoenix Suns. Taking the bottom seed in the West, the 15th seed, I have the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix have had a rough couple of years and I don't see them improving anymore. They made some pretty bad moves on draft night and were one of my biggest losers for the offseason. If Devin Booker can step up and make a bigger impact than he has, maybe this would change, but I'm not that confident in that. I don't think he can take this team far at all next season, and to be honest, he may request a trade. It's going to be an interesting season for the Suns. Us NBA fans really need to see some improvement. I have the Suns winning around 20 to 25 games next season. Number 14, the Memphis Grizzlies. The 14th and 13th and even the 12th spot was really hard to decipher and figure out who to put where, but in the end, I've gone with the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant is my favourite player out of this year's draft class, and I do think he has a good chance to win the Rookie of the Year over Zion. He's going to get a good opportunity as the roster around him, excluding 3 or 4 other players, is pretty weak. Unfortunately, that's why I have Memphis so low too. Though I am very excited for their future, they are simply too young and inexperienced to be any sort of a threat to go far next season, which is why I have them here. I have the Memphis Grizzlies winning around 25 games next season. Number 13, the Oklahoma City Thunder. A lot of you may disagree with me on this one, but I do have my reasons for putting OKC so low. Personally, if the current roster stuck together throughout the entire season, I do think they'd be within a chance to make the 8, but I reckon they'll look to trade Chris Paul and others during the season to begin their full rebuild. This team on paper looks good too, don't get me wrong, but in a stacked West, it's going to be very hard for them to have any major success. I'll say one thing though, keep an eye on Steven Adams. With Westbrook gone, expect his numbers, rebounding in particular, to skyrocket, and he could be an all-star this season. I have OKC winning around 25 to 30 games next season. Number 12, the New Orleans Pelicans. After drafting Zion Williamson, the hype for the New Orleans Pelicans and their future is real. Along with the great young assets they picked up in the Anthony Davis trade, many people believe this team could be a playoff contender this upcoming season. And whilst I do believe this team has real potential to dominate in the future, it isn't going to happen this season. I personally don't think that Zion will be as good as he is made out to be, and overall, the team is still too young for me to see them having any real success. Especially considering what conference they're in, I unfortunately have to place them this low at the 12th seed, with them probably winning around 30 to 35 games next season. Number 11, the Minnesota Timberwolves. After trading away Zach LaVine and Lauri Markkanen for Jimmy Butler a little over 2 years ago, the Wolves have never been the same. The experiment with Butler failed epically, and in return for him, they got Robert Covington and a draft pick as they moved Saric this offseason. It's been a devastating couple of seasons for the Wolves. To make matters worse, Wiggins has never lived up to his potential and seems to be on a decline ever since Butler left. This is why I have them this low, and honestly, if I didn't have the utmost confidence in Karl-Anthony Towns, I would probably have put them lower. Wiggins really needs to bounce back if this team wants to see success. The whole team needs to lift for them to even get a sniff at the playoffs. Unfortunately, I only see the Wolves winning 30 to 35 games this season. Number 10, the Sacramento Kings. I'm a firm believer in the Sacramento Kings. Last season the squad put on a show, and with young guys like De'Aaron Fox and Marvin Bagley further developing, I truly believe this team will dominate in the future. Unfortunately for them, they have a rough couple of years ahead. As they sit in the Pacific Division, it means they will verse the Los Angeles Lakers, Clippers, and Golden State Warriors 4 times each. Yes, I do believe the Kings are good, but not good enough to beat these teams multiple times in a season. This is why I have them as the 10th seed. I would put them higher, but they have a very difficult fixture, and unless Fox and Hield become the next Splash Bros, I have a hard time believing this team will feature in next year's playoffs. They are a great team, don't get it twisted. I just reckon it'll be tough for them to make the playoffs considering all the teams they play up to 4 times. I have them winning around 35 to 40 games next season. Number 9. The San Antonio Spurs. It's no lie that the Spurs are on the decline. The team is very good on paper and have proved to be a real threat last season, but with other contenders improving around them and the West getting more and more talent, I struggle to see how they'll make the playoffs. I think with the godly coaching of Greg Popovich, the team can still be in the running and get very close to the playoff picture. They'll probably fluctuate in and out throughout the season, but once it comes to a close, they will just miss out. DeRozan isn't that good anymore. I'm not sure what to think of Aldridge. In general, I'm just not sure what to make out of this team. I know DeJounte Murray's back, Derek White could have a mini breakout year, all of that, but I just don't know what to expect of them. That's why I have them as 9th. To me, they're on the brink of the playoffs, but I personally believe there are 8 better teams out there than them. I have them winning 40 to 45 games next season. Number 8. The Dallas Mavericks. For my first team in the playoff picture, I have the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks played pretty well last season, led by their young superstar in Luka Doncic, and look to improve further this season with recent addition Kristaps Porzingis. I'm very excited to see how the duo of Kristaps and Luka work out, as it'll be interesting to witness how Porzingis plays after his devastating injury. However, I am optimistic about this duo, and I reckon Doncic can take yet another leap into all-stardom and become the best young player in the league by a country mile. If everything goes well, this team could be a true underdog next season. However, Porzingis may not be the same and could only be an all-star caliber player, not a superstar that he was projected to be. This is why I have them 8th. They could easily drop up and down, but I think 8th suits them well. I have them winning 40 to 45 games next season. Number 7. The Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz made numerous improvements this offseason. They got Mike Conley and Bojan Bogdanovic, and this team seems ready to have a breakout year. Mitchell is ready to take the next step. He dominated the ladder of last season, averaging 27 points per game post All-Star break. Mike Conley and Bogdanovic add to the Jazz what they heavily lacked last season: offense. Mitchell had to carry the load every game and clearly struggled in the playoffs, so the new additions will be a major help. The Jazz are all around great. They have the defensive powerhouse in Gobert, and after this offseason, they have the brilliant offensive talent that has been needed so that they can get over the line. Unfortunately though, I think there is 6 better teams out there than them, but trust me, it's close. I could have easily put them in the top 4, it really depends on how you look at it, so don't think I'm being disrespectful here. I see the Jazz winning around 40 to 45 games next season. Number 6. The Portland Trail Blazers. The Portland Trail Blazers had a pretty good off-season. They added Hassan Whiteside, who should be an upgrade over Kanter and will be a good replacement for Nurkic whilst the big man recovers from a serious injury he suffered towards the end of last season. Last season, the Blazers proved how amazing of a team they can be, destroying the Thunder and demoralizing the Nuggets. And yes, whilst they were swept by the Warriors, they had at least a 10-point lead in almost every game of that series at some point. Yes, they choked them all, but imagine if they didn't. Imagine if they held on for a couple of those games. Unfortunately, with the West getting even more talent, I find it hard to see the Blazers getting a top 4 seed, but this doesn't mean you should count them out. Out of all the teams in the West, this one has by far the best chemistry and experience, and if any team was to go on a surprise run, it's them. I have them winning 45 games next season. Number 5, the Houston Rockets. The Rockets made one of the boldest decisions this offseason by trading away their point guard Chris Paul for Russell Westbrook in an insane blockbuster deal that sent shockwaves throughout the NBA. Personally, I love this trade, and I think it will work out well for the Rockets. However, I do understand the concerns with this team and the problems that may arise with this duo. Shooting, efficiency, and who handles the ball will be some of the issues that need to be discussed in order for this team to have success. I think to begin the season, Houston will start off slow, but gradually improve as the season goes on, which is why I have them 5th. Depending on who you ask, this team is either going to be a massive failure or a huge success, and since I'm a Rockets fan, I'm going to be a bit more optimistic and go with the latter. I'm not going to be too biased though, and this team does have some problems that need to be sorted out in order for them to win a lot of games. With that all said though, I have the Rockets winning 45 to 50 games next season. Number 4, the Golden State Warriors. After losing Kevin Durant, the Warriors dynasty seemed destined to be over. But the Warriors weren't done yet, pulling off an incredible move to receive D'Angelo Russell. Now with them, their dynasty has a small chance to thrive still. I'm extremely excited to see how the Warriors manage D'Lo and Curry and how they play together. It's going to be a very interesting season. With Klay Thompson returning midway through the season, as the playoffs approach, I expect the Warriors to be on top of their game. They may struggle to start, but I think they will find their groove as the season progresses and be a real threat at the end of the season. I have them winning around 45 to 50 games next season. Number 3, the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets have one of the best young cores in the league. Their roster is stacked with young stars and they have so much potential. The Nuggets overall just have a great team. They have star talent in Jokic and Murray, have the depth to back them up from guys such as Grant, Harris and Morris, and have young prospects for the future in Bol Bol and Michael Porter Jr. The Denver Nuggets just missed the playoffs in 2017 and 18, and last season proved themselves as a legit NBA contender. I have no doubt they can do it again this season. They took the Blazers to 7 games and surprised a lot of people. I don't see why they can't do it again this season. This is why I have the Nuggets winning 50 to 55 games next season. Number 2, the Los Angeles Clippers. At the 2nd seed in the Western Conference, I have the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers did what seemed impossible this offseason, as they not only signed Kawhi Leonard, but also traded for Paul George. This is the Clippers' year to shine. Their roster is absolutely amazing, with guys like Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, etc. backing up the superstars leading the team. This team is so good, and I was extremely tempted to put them as the number 1 seed. In the end, when it came down to it, I decided against it, but trust me, there is almost no difference between the number 1 seed and the Clippers. It was very close and almost impossible for me to decide. Clippers fans, enjoy your moment. This is going to be a very special season for you guys. Number 1, the Los Angeles Lakers. And finally, at number 1, we have the Los Angeles Lakers. Recently, I've actually seen a lot of people disrespect the Lakers. Some people have been putting them as low as the 4th seed next season, which is just ridiculous. Whilst the Lakers may start slow, that's what normally happens with new LeBron teams, I think the Lakers will take off towards the end of the season. LeBron and AD are going to be a killer duo, and I personally think Howard is a bit of an upgrade over Cousins, but that's just me. Howard is a good pickup nonetheless. With Kuzma developing more under LeBron and AD's mentorship, and with a great bench to back them up, the Lakers are my number 1 seeded team in the Western Conference. Again, it was very close between the Lakers and Clippers. It really could have gone either way, but I think once the season is all said and done, the Lakers will stand atop the Western Conference. But that will conclude the video. Just a quick recap, here are my projected standings for the Western Conference in my opinion. The Lakers are first, Clippers second, followed by Denver, with the Warriors, Rockets and Blazers making it up the 4th, 5th and 6th seeds. The Jazz are 7th, Dallas sneak in 8th, the Spurs and Kings barely miss out, Minnesota are 11th, the young Pelicans go 12th, and OKC, Memphis and Phoenix round out the bottom 3. Let me know what you guys think of the standings predictions. What would you change? Are there any teams I overrated or underrated? What are your standing predictions for the West? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.